Hey fam, welcome back to another episode of I'm Telling You.
I'm telling you.
Dude, we should start a barbershop quartet. Oh, it's just a barbershop duo. I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, welcome back to I'm Telling You. As always, your host, Philly D.
Mr. Gemini here.
And may I ask you a question, good sir?
Please do.
If you wanted to reach out to us, how would you do that?
You would get a hold of us at I'm telling you at directionsinmusic.org. That's IMTELLINYOU at directionsinmusic.org.
You do that so smoothly.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
Oh, good. Thanks. All right, cool. Because I thought I was going to have to murder you a little while ago, but it didn't happen, so we're good.
Wow. Okay.
Plus, there was I thought you were going to break up with me too. So, maybe I'm just feeling very emotional. I don't know.
Really, yeah.
I'm projecting a lot.
That was a while ago now.
Why are you bringing it up?
It was like 5 minutes ago. What's going on?
No, it was 23 seconds ago. All right. Hold on. Are we ready?
It's like, okay.
Well, because we usually, somehow we always get into it and then, and we forget, but I want to get right off. Yeah, go ahead. Ready? 1, 2. Dude, we did it.
Nice.
I was like twice in a row.
Damn.
Oh, we're so good.
It actually didn't go anywhere, which is good. I'll take.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to go down your throat hole, so.
No, but it didn't, last time.
Oh, it didn't go. You mean it didn't go everywhere? Because you said it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, it's in my hair. Well, I don't have hair, but it's on my scalp.
Yeah, that was before this was clean. It was.
Yeah, and well timed. I mean, yeah, we're getting better. I guess that's the thing that we're doing. I don't know.
Getting better at opening beer. I'm so proud.
We have to be good at something.
Look at me, Dad.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that.
Right on.
Well, I mean, again, you gotta have something, right?
I got nothing.
Well, I mean, that goes back to I always say, it's like, why are you checking somebody else's stats? You should be checking your own stats. You could be like, yo, I can synchronistically open a can with you. Ready? Let's go. And then you can do that. So maybe put that on a resume. I don't know, like beatboxing or freestyling. I would write that down.
You threw that right back at me when I was saying JP, the Jordan Peterson thing, one of the 12 rules.
Which is what?
The whole idea of not comparing yourself to others, but comparing yourself to who you were yesterday.
Oh yeah. We were talking about it in that fashion, and that's why I brought it up that way. Which I mean that's totally true though, because I mean why are you should be worried about your own, not worried. You should be mindful of your own stuff,
right? And to compare yourself to where, if you're looking at the great, amazing pinnacle of whatever field that you want to go into, you don't immediately try to mimic that person and be able to be on their level. That takes years and years of, education and attainment of certain goals and, but to compare yourself to somebody like that instead of just comparing yourself, okay, that's where you want to be eventually, but you're comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. So as long as you're always making some kind of improvement, that it gives you a much more reachable goal.
Well, see, and I like the fact that you said improvement, because improvement doesn't always mean that you've made it better. Improvement means that no matter, even if you're moving backwards, you're still moving forward because there's going to be progression somehow out of it. So I like that improvement.
Improvement.
Yeah.
In whatever way it is, right? I mean, how you're handling certain difficult situations with other people or, things happen to you and how do you react? Are you a person that reacts or are you a person that, acts in the moment?
I would like to say I'm one of those old heads that when you ask a question or present an idea or something, instead of telling you what I think or making a point, I just tell you a story. That's where I'm at now. I'm like grandpa status. I just tell stories.
The whole parable thing, right?
Well, because it's that. Well, I always like it. It goes back to that the thing in the Matrix, the movie where Neo's hanging out with the one old head off the council, and they're checking out on the machines, and they're talking about symbolic relationships and the way things go back and forth, and he makes the point of I don't know what they do, but I know without them I don't get to live or whatever, and he's just telling them this story, he's just telling him how he feels, and he looks at him, he's like, well. He's like, yeah, I get it. So without them, we don't live. Without them, without us, they don't live. Or, so it has this balance or whatever. He's like, so what's your point? He's like, oh, I don't have a point. He's like, old men like me, there's no point to making a point. We're good. But because it's not meant to make a point. It's meant to make you think, and then it makes your own point.
Well, it sounds like just the balance of opposites. I mean, that you're talking about that, like to have anything you would consider good, right? It has to have an opposite to compare it to. The idea that, well, anyway.
Well, because if it's only by itself, then you only know that as it is. There's nothing else. Like if you had red and blue, you could say red and blue. But if you just had blue, it'd be color, or whatever you would call it. I don't know.
But negative implies positive, black implies white, moon implies sun. Like there's a relationship. There's a.
I don't know if I would use the word implies, but yeah, I know what you mean by that.
Well, what's light? If all you know is light, if that's all that exists, and you've never seen darkness, what do you compare it to?
Dude, you know what cracks me up? If you take, I guess, like in the 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional way, all of the colors and like mix them. So if you, like we were talking before about having colors and stuff, and like you can make any color. Well, if you mix all of them together, you're just going to get like black, like this grayish black, right? Like ash black.
It's like a gray brown.
But here's the deal. In light spectrum, when you mix all the colors, what do you get? Light. It's not red light or green light or, the Roy G. Biv rainbow aspect. Like when you prism, like when you use that and it refracts it out and you can see all the different shades of the rainbow.
Pure white light.
Yeah, you get pure white, which, that I always like that. Just the, I guess the irony of life.
That's why I said I was talking about pigments and colors, like paints. But yeah, I always like that with light, it's completely different. You mix them all together and you just get, not that it has to be white, but it's just all, that's the all encompassing. It's like the highest frequency you can reach.
That's why I said it's just light, because it's not quite clear, but at least, and see, this adds even further to it now, because here's the deal is, if you think about it, everything that we feel we are seeing in front of us is actually just a neurological representation of what our eyeballs are ingesting as far as like data around us.
Absolutely.
So we don't actually see anything. We just have a movie screen in our head that projects it as if it was like from our eyeballs.
Well, and in a weird way, you can say that you're seeing it with all of your senses, but you're seeing it on a different frequency range.
Well, I think that
what you
goes.
see with your eyes, you're experiencing in a way with your ears and with the sensitivity of your skin and the nerve endings on your skin, and like your interaction with the world around you it's all noise, but it's perceived at different levels, at different frequencies.
Yeah, and I to me it reminds me of the idea of like synesthesia, because then you're viewing it on so many different levels. That's how it makes it a more vivid memory, which, I mean, there's plenty of data that like supports that idea that you retain greater knowledge the more imagery or, fantastic or just, additional components. It's like the idea of like, when you're supposed to hear a lecture, you either, rewrite it and you like say it in your head as you write it so that you're getting multiple layers. Or, the idea of like waiting till the lecture's over and then like taking notes so that you can pull as much back out of it as possible. It's just making as vivid of a memory or reusage of it that it's, finally sticks in your head.
Well, that actually has a lot to do with linking the two hemispheres of your brain, doing certain activities like that. So that's why those things have had a proven success rate. So the fact that you see something, you read it, and you're incorporating it into your memory through that. And then when you rewrite it, you have to connect both hemispheres to be able to listen, comprehend, understand, and regurgitate that information on a hand, when you think about it, that's working from the opposite side of the brain. So it's a very weird interaction that goes on that we take completely for granted.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with Grant. Yeah, taking it, yeah, because it's like commonplace. That's how it works. This is how it works. Like,
but there's a certain like memory enhancing aspect to that, because you're kind of connecting the two hemispheres of your brain by doing that.
You get the logical and the imaginative.
Right.
Yeah. Which is the difference between like being left-handed, right-handed. That's why they say most artistic people are left-handed, because they're, yeah. Well, but I'm ambidextrous. Sup?
But I don't necessarily think that's a.
You just say but. But
I don't think that's necessarily like the only trait. I think that's maybe a generalization, but
I think it's a very common occurrence that it's like it's so repeatable that the likelihood is. So nobody says like, oh, if you are, you have to be. I mean, some people probably do. Who knows? But
I always like the term, if you're left-handed, you're in your right mind.
See, I always had it as if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Dude, I'm telling you, my dad jokes are on point. They've always been on point.
Salud.
Yeah. I bring the funny. That's what you bring the tangents. I bring the funny. We roll it back around again for the again, and then we close the show. That's how it happens.
So please write in. Am I the only one that brings the tangents? Just say this. Just back me up here.
Oh, are you looking for like reassurance and validation?
Did I just break the fourth wall? I'm sorry.
A little bit. Dude, I told you were desperate. I knew it. That's why you're always like, I want to tell everybody how to get all this. You're crying for help. Are you trying to break up with me?
I'm telling you, directionsmusic.org.
You're trying to break up with me.
What? No.
I knew it. You've been changing your diet. You're exercising. I know what's going on here. Nah, I always love joking about that. You ain't going nowhere. You can't do any better than me. No.
Wow.
You see how it went both ways?
Wow, that's
it's like one moment you're breaking with me, and the next, yeah, that's well, you know, that's what you have to do when you're
gonna start beating me.
What do you mean start?
Make me dinner, bitch. Oh, dude, that's wrong.
Chicken pot pie.
That's wrong.
No, but that's like what is it? Yeah,
make me a chicken pot.
Yeah, make me. Yeah, John Hughes.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. But that's No, Dad. So what about you? No, we didn't bring it anywhere. We parked it. It's tangented. It's now pulled over. People are currently writing in and be like, no, it's always him.
It's already pulled
Philly
over.
D takes care of all this. Yeah, that's just That's what I bring the funny. Kind of corral you a little bit, but I need your tangents to make it interesting. Without you, it's just me talking, and nobody wants that. I don't even want that.
I don't want that either.
See, nobody does. I mean, maybe the plants, because then they're getting like more carbon dioxide. I mean, I could see that. So there's a benefit there, but outside of that, I got nothing.
Except it's all just a bunch of hot air.
Well, yeah, because internally, the temperature, in the 90s, and then it kind of comes in, gets warmed up, comes back out. Of course, that's science. Wow, thanks, Mr. Wizard. I'm sorry.
All right, Captain Obvious.
I know.
All right.
I apologize. I'm being very abusive of you. I think it started in the green room.
It's being so literal.
Well, I mean, when we were warming up, I haven't really seen you for a while. We were talking about that, or at least that's how I was feeling about it.
It's been
because I usually get to talk to you.
A week.
But we usually talk like all the time. I miss you, and I'm protecting. Yeah, no, I do. But yeah, I think I was being abusive, so I apologize for that. I mean, I still love you, but deal with it.
I just don't know where to go from there.
You're just going to say thank you, and I appreciate you too.
Yes. That's just Phil. Yes. Gemini says that.
Oh, what is this, like Mad Libs? Just fill in the blank.
Insert name here.
Yeah, right. Noun, pronoun, adjective.
Yeah, ditto.
Ditto. No, I don't. I mean, what is ditto? We need to fact check here. What is ditto? Is it an adverb? Is it a...
You remember the ditto machines?
I'm not that old.
Well, I guess I just dated myself then.
Nobody wants to date you.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I got the humdingers tonight.
Nobody can date me, so it's
see, that's even better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You a spoken for man.
I'm unavailable.
Well, it's because you're just busy. I know.
I'm not.
That's why you aren't hanging out with me.
I'm just busy.
You're just busy. That was a good dad joke. You slipped it right in there.
Yeah, well, it's still terrible.
That's only because I told you they were terrible. So now you're aware. And
it's all in my head now.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing because now we don't have to have that conversation again.
It's always all in my head.
That's perception.
This whole thing is going on inside my head. You guys are all inside my head. That's really creepy.
This is a neurological experience. That's all there is to it.
You guys need to get out of my head. It's really creepy.
Yeah, or pay rent. You can just send it to the
make all checks payable to I'm Telling You in Directions of Music.
Dude, that's not a thing.
No, it's
come on.
No, we can't even say that. Sorry.
No, that was false.
Cut that out. Nix it.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything. We'll just put the sound
where's the dump button?
The sound of running water over that. I don't know.
Well, we can't. That's just there's
Wait,
no.
give me some sound effects. I want some sound. Push a button.
No, this is not the time. See, now who's being demanding?
I want to push a button. Can I push a button?
You've pushed my button. We're supposed to be talking about stuff, not buttons.
Yeah, right now I'm talking about wanting to push a button.
Oh, jeez. I'm like 5 again.
And
littering and. All right, so
your point.
Well, my point is
So I can't push a button. That's what you're telling me.
Well, we were talking on break about a Jordan Peterson and
Russell Brand.
Yeah, Russell Brand.
Because I've been on the Russell Brand kick apparently lately.
Which I'll be honest. During that, the thing that jumped out to me the most was the fact that I actually saw like Jordan Peterson get emotional. He's always very analytical, logical, very succinct, very specific and exacting. I mean, he's very methodical in his expression. To me, it really states that he's taken the time to go over the material again and again and again and just like really beat it up to where it's like, all right, this really does make the most sense. And then to actually hear him become emotional in his expressions, because he's usually all about the empirical data, so you never really get his true emotional self come out. So that was pretty good to see him as like a human, as other than just like a rolling encyclopedia.
Well, I mean, if you really follow him, I mean, there's a number of different like interviews and videos that he's been on where he really gets, when he gets rolling, and he gets, especially I think part of what you saw was he's talking about stuff about being ill for a long time, for a year or so or more, where it was like every day was like, how am I still alive?
Yeah, because that was when he started doing the carnivore diet or something, right? Or thereafter is that was like his reasoning to want to try it, I think.
Somewhere in there.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the timing.
I think even after picking up that diet, there was other complications, and it's just it's been turbulent for him health-wise, and some of it he even kind of hints around the idea that some of it may actually be psychosomatic, that some of it may be all the pressure that he's taking on.
As well as the overanalyzing of material.
Because, just one of the things that I aspire to, and the whole thing that I like about this connection that we make, is that the idea that maybe some of this could come across as being healing for somebody in a lot of the ways that I've listened to some of the speeches that Jordan Peterson has given, and especially times when he's really trying to prove a point and he gets emotional like that. And then that really affects me, because it's like I realize he really believes, and he's really into what he's saying, and it's very meaningful and important to him.
So. Right? Yeah. It goes beyond the data. There's anecdotal components to it where his emotions do come out. Which I've seen quite a bit of his lectures and speeches and interactions and. Yeah, that's why I was to actually see him because I've seen him be spirited, I'll say. So not emotional, but passionate. So spirited, like he's got that little extra something behind it, because maybe it is a little personal, but I've never seen him where he was actually truly like forthcoming in that emotional expression.
When he gets like that, and even at the end of that, you didn't watch the whole video, but even at the end of that video, by the end of it. He's getting all emotional. He's saying this is what in a lot of ways, the same way I feel like this is what the world needs right now. The world needs compassion. The world needs people to communicate across all these different lines and realize that the only differences between us are the ones that we create. So a lot of the things he's saying go right in line with, the way I feel about how you should live your life. Right. So.
Yeah, I mean, I always say we're all brothers and sisters. We're all somehow or another. It's intertwined. I mean, that goes back to the David Attenborough conversation we were having about we're all animals. Even though we're humans. We're a species. We're a mammal. We're still an animal. Like we kind of forget that, and get it. I don't know. I guess get into this thing of just being like so much. That was
like
so
you were
23
saying,
seconds ago.
Like
you know,
it's you have this animal kingdom down here on the planet Earth, and that we came from like, well, as you referenced, like we came from the stars, you know. But even if you believe all that, I mean, a lot of religion in general talks about that. Basically, we're a spirit, you know, that has kind of infested this body. So, you know, there's that dichotomy, right? There's the fact that yes, there is an animal instinct within all of us, but is it about focusing on what you need to do to survive as an animal, or, you know, how you can in some ways transcend that, right? That's what makes you human.
I think, and to me, I think the biggest thing that makes us human is cognition. We've had this discussion before where we started getting into like consciousness, and like that's that thing, is being aware that you're aware. You know, so I think, and because me personally, being aware of things, like not just like, you know, being aware of, but being aware that I'm aware of. So being able to like separate myself away from the emotions and still just see it as a thing. Having both sides of that, there's still that component that like draws me in. There's still that emotional thing. It's I equate it to like Spock, because he's half human, you know, half Vulcan. So he has that extreme logical, but then also that extreme emotional. So to me, having that awareness is kind of that thing that brings out the emotion.
I would say a good way to think of it too, like to distinguish, is, you know, when you have that internal conversation, like, and it actually includes words that are in your native tongue, like you're talking to yourself in your own head. That doesn't happen with any other animal.
We don't know that.
As far as we can tell, that does not happen with any other animal. There's not, it's more a link of, I mean, there is a connection there. There is something, but it's not.
What about octopi?
Like you said, cognition. Like you don't think about the fact that you think. You don't like break everything down the same way. That there's a whole different connection. And in some ways, animal instinct makes you more in connection with the world around you. But I think maybe, I don't know, there's something weird about the whole cognition thing that is kind of hard to put your finger on. But that's the way I look at it. I don't think there's an internal conversation going on within an animal's mind. It's more like instinctual when something.
That's why I said, what about octopi? See what I'm saying? See? They're on such a level that we can detect. And again, man, just because we're aware that we're aware and we're capable of coming up with hypotheses that are like now going, you know, become a theory so we can see them as testable, factual, doesn't mean that we're registering all things on the correct level. Because, like, you know, we always talk about being on that frequency. Well, if we're not on that appropriate frequency to actually ingest that information, how are we going to see if they're being aware that they're aware?
So there's definitely something amazing about octopus and even cephalopod, the cuttlefish as well. That's like, it's an amazing, like so much of the brain is taken up with camouflage and with being able to shape their body. And octopus do a lot of the same things. That there is kind of a relation there, but I mean, dolphins, that would more throw into the question for me, is because when you think about it, the dolphins actually have a much larger emotional center in their brain than humans do. And the way everything's connected together, it's like their communication and connection with each other it's amazingly strong. And dolphins are one of the few animals that even while they're hunting, they're always playing with each other. They're always in a very tight-knit family. There's a very strange, like, that's where I would kind of call into question what is consciousness, but that's more with the dolphin. But the octopus is amazing for different reasons.
See, this is what I love about this show, is there's so many times where we've made an expression and then, like, you know, a couple minutes later, we're just like, I want to retract that previous statement. I do. I've done it to myself where I was like literally saying something. We were actually talking about that consciousness, and I brought up the idea of the dog, and I talked my idea, and then I like ran back. I was like, no, that's just I just proved myself wrong.
It happens.
And we'll just fast forward past this part. Matter of fact, never show this part again.
I just paint myself in a corner there, and everybody ignore that. It didn't happen.
Yeah, well, it is what we do. That's what I love about our friendship that has turned into this.
It hasn't turned into anything. We just turn on a mic.
Actually, I turn on 2 mics, unless we have a guest, and then there'd be a third, and I don't know.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully coming soon. Yeah,
email us.
Yeah, it'll be happening if that's.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing: is if somebody's listening to this after it was recorded live, then it would be like a rerun. So then at that point, in that now, it would have already happened. So we have to be careful what we wish for.
Has, yeah.
Technically,
well, now we're already
has.
taking guests, apparently. So.
Take a number, everyone. Ease up. Let's call in security.
Yeah.
That's where you like need David Spade to come in and just be like, and you are.
That was this earlier.
Okay. Oh, dude. Hey, but this is what happens when you do like live recordings and stuff.
Housekeeping?
You know? Well, but you can't control what goes on around you, just like the weather. So
fluff your pillow.
That's why I like live recordings. It's more enjoyable that way. It's fun. You know?
Well, yeah.
Takes it back to that like vaudevillian style when they first did radio before TV and everything.
I'm saying that was the height of entertainment, man.
Yeah, you had to have like the washboards and
in ways I think it was better because I mean on a shoestring budget you could create something in the imagination of the person listening that was way better than anything you could create on Hollywood, you know.
Well, and to me the when they're recording the sound effects for the backgrounds on movies, they actually do the large screen with the sound stage, and they're basically doing the same thing you would have done on the radio to make that same sound, and then they're using it as like the actual component to put out as the audio for it. Like breaking a bone, they're like snapping celery. You wouldn't think of that, but that it makes that sound that to us audibly, it's just like and it just makes you cringe because it's on the right frequencies. And yeah, there's actually a lot of research that's been done in that as to like what frequencies and sounds and whatnot actually perceive differently, and makes that more graphic picture, even though you're already showing the picture.
Yeah, right.
Science.
Yeah, I have watched some of those with usually it's like cartoons and stuff where they're dubbing all the sound effects like after the fact, and they'll play the whole the whole series that's going on, and they'll have to add in.
No, it's most of the movies because they want to be able to produce an output that's mixed correctly so that you get the right jumps in volume to coincide with the correct components and the way things fade in and out. And so there's a lot of extra work on it on the backside that most people don't realize in a larger production.
Right, that you want to accentuate the sound. The sound may already be there to some extent, but you're basically accentuating it by doing that.
Yeah. Well, as there's going to be times where you're not actually making that noise and they want to add it for effect. Perfect case in point. How many times have you seen a TV show where the car is peeling out on dirt?
Dukes of Hazzard, man.
And yet there's tire squeal from the asphalt.
How is that? I mean, you'd hear like gravel maybe, or like, small rocks getting kicked up, but you wouldn't hear. But
that's the thing of the dirt getting tossed.
It's just not sexy.
Yeah. The tires screaming and screaming. That's more audible in the sense of recognizing as like taking off. You're peeling out in dirt and everybody just thinks, oh, he's just sitting still. Yeah. Throw that gravel, buddy. Woo. Yeah. No, it's not impressive. But, you get that little bit of tire squeal, and it's just like, oh, my God, look at him go. And it's just crazy now. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Nobody cared. It was Dukes of Hazzard. It was awesome.
Well, it's the same thing. It was like with menu design. Using different colors presents different ideas to people.
I was watching for Daisy anyway.
No, not everybody. I'll tell you what, I like the remake with Willie Nelson. He has some good jokes in that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got good jokes and everything. It's Willie Nelson.
Of course, man. I love Willie. He's the man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he actually like practices. He studies some kind of discipline. I'm trying to remember.
Like Zen Buddhism or
Well, no, like jujitsu or
martial arts. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember exactly which. It was an interview from a couple years back, but I remember watching that, and it wasn't a very traditional style, which is, that's why when he said it, I was just like, Willie Nelson? Man, that dude's in everything.
It could be Jeet Kune Do. No?
No. I mean, it was a very physical component. That's why I think it might be like jujitsu.
Oh, really?
Well, because he's older. So, typically we have this view as older people are more fragile. Well, we do, because typically, their nutrition is not as great. They're not as active. Willie Nelson apparently is just doing his thing and keeping active, and so he's able to do this stuff. To what degree, I don't know. But I do know that, I was taken aback by it, and it was just like, oh, all right, Willie, I see you, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love me some Willie Nelson.
Love me some Willie Nelson.
Love me some Willie Nelson. Cheers.
How much for the can of burn? Sorry.
To you, Willie.
Dude, we just cheers to Willie. That's
so
gross. Oh, would you just Goonies me there?
One-eyed Willie.
Yeah.
That's where my mind jumped. Everybody enjoy my mind jumps.
Well, that's why you bring the tangents. I bring the funny.
I bring the tangent.
And then we wrap it back around again with some education somehow, even though we still need a fact checker. Yeah, that's something else you can email us about. If you were willing to do this for free or high fives or, something.
Yeah, to get prior knowledge. That was the whole. Yeah.
Oh, you get precursory knowledge because it's
you get to hear the show before it actually airs.
Yeah,
it's so exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't really have to do much. Just kind of hang out. Maybe give us high fives. It'll make us feel better. Maybe that's what we should do. We need to start like a high five fan club.
But we need to stress that there is no payment involved here because there's no.
Dude, no, high fives.
That's high fives. That's it, all the way.
What do you mean that's it?
High fives are awesome, but...
I mean, if you do them right, they are. That's why it's a high five. You're right. See? Just saying.
Anyhow. So how you been, man?
I have been, thinking about stuff. I'm always thinking about stuff.
Right. Something specific or...
No, just life in general and
stuff you want to get into. And
the thing that I have learned the most recently that just has really just been driven home to me is patience. So with the idea that it really has caused me to pull back, allowing my mind to wander and deal with things. Create these what's the 4 agreements? Making assumptions where you just put it in your head. This is how it's going to be.
Make no assumptions.
Yeah.
Was that 2?
No, I think that's 3.
That's 3. Okay.
Or, I mean, it might be. No, maybe it is 2. And then
2.
Take nothing personal is 3.
Take nothing personal is 3.
Yeah, I always flip those 2. I know it's be impeccable and then do your best always as 1 and 4.
Well, there's kind of a similarity between them. That's probably why.
Well, yeah. Well, I said that.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to me.
I never listen to you.
But, no, because you're always going off on tangents.
Because it's all about me.
Well, when you go on a tangent, I feel like. But even though maybe you don't know. Are you like falling asleep at the wheel? Is that what happens? And then.
Do we need like counseling or something?
Are you breaking up with me?
Are things okay? We're trying to communicate, I guess, but I'm not listening to you, and
I mean, nobody wants to
I'm
listen
listening.
to me.
You just go ahead and spill your guts. I'm listening.
Well, I was talking about patience because you asked me what was up with me, and then you just took it away from me.
Well, I was kind of laughing in my head because the last time you'd mentioned something about patience, you were talking about, you looked up to the heavens and you asked for patience.
Oh, yeah. Careful what you wish for.
You got a daughter.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
Mind you, super dope.
Super dope.
Amazing person. Great young woman. I mean, the whole gambit. She's just good, dope people. I love her. But yeah, patience. To me, it really has gone to the whole no assumptions kind of a thing. It really pushes the idea of just being, I guess, focused on the outcome. Like, what's the thing that I always say? where it's doesn't matter what the journey is. If you're expecting or wishing or wanting or focused on this mountaintop, even if you get to another mountaintop and then see that other one is, however, whatever far away, and you now have to like backtrack down this mountain to go back up and around to get to that mountain. Dude, as long as you're staying focused on the mountain that you're going for, then that's the goal.
Well, I like the idea of that as I'm playing that out in my head is that, it may not feel like you're making progress because now you climb this whole mountain, but it was just to get to the other side to continue on the straight path to find your mountain.
Or
I think that's a good kind of depiction of what it can feel like sometimes. Like, why it feels like you're Sisyphus trying to push a giant boulder up a mountain, that it's like this continuous thing that never ends. But, sometimes it may feel like that, and then when you come down off the mountaintop, you realize how much closer you are to your actual final goal. So there may be a lot of different things along the path, right, that maybe you didn't plan for, but maybe you needed.
See, I always take it more to the point of you had to be on top of you have to be on top of that mountain to have the view,
to be able to
truly see the path to get to the mountain you're attempting to get to.
I like that too.
As well as you're able to get enough of a spectrum of that it gives you a more efficient or safer or proven possible path, highly probable, whatever, but it gives you a more wise path, which you would have to be patient for anyways, because you can go bullheaded. Because, what's that? I love that joke from the movie Colors back in the day, where the older officer is teaching, because it was Robert Duvall is teaching Sean Penn, so old officer, young officer. He tells him the joke of like, so there's two bulls sitting up on a hill, an old bull and a young bull, and there's a bunch of cows sitting down at the bottom of the hill. And little bull says to old bull like, hey, what do you say we run down and get us one of those cows? And old bull looks at young bull. He's like, why don't we walk down and get them all? I'm paraphrasing because I'm a family show. I don't want to be vulgar about it, but that's they're trying to and so. But that's the thing is having patience. It's like, well, so you can either just like get a little bit, or you can take your time and get all of it. Patience. It means many ways and many things. But yeah, dude, I'm having a greater sense of joy and appreciation and acceptance of patience.
You just reminded me of another joke. Two guys are walking over a bridge that runs over a... I
thought you were going to say two guys walking to a bar.
Two guys are walking over a bridge that runs over like this, this river. And they both take a stop in the middle of the bridge, They've on one guy's on one side of the post, the other one's on the other side, and they're relieving themselves in the river below. And the one guy just turns to the other guy and goes, "Whew, water's cold."
Yeah, deep too.
Exactly. Just reminded me of that one. I know that's an old one, but
I was raised by a Navy man.
Yeah.
And my other uncles are also mixed, like military or law enforcement, or so those guys got some raunchy jokes.
That joke's been around.
Yeah, well, when men are being very protective and brotherhood and all that, that's so those guys usually they need a little extra unwinding, so they get a little raunchy maybe. Hey, good on them if that's how they do it, man. I appreciate them. Thank you for your service. But patience. So
Patience.
Yeah, it's my thing. I don't know. So is this where I'm supposed to reciprocate and ask you how you're doing? Because I feel like I already did that earlier.
No, you just say whatever you want to say. It doesn't.
Say what you want to say.
Say what you want to say. All right. Anyway. Not gonna
work here anymore. Ding.
Ding. Yeah.
So what would you say you do here? I already told you I'm a people person. I wouldn't want to jump to any conclusions.
All right, that's terrible.
Dude, that was perfect. I love it. It actually just gave me an idea. What if you could take movies and actually get them to sync up from their own great quotable lines in the movie and just make the movie only the quotable lines from scene to scene, so that instead of it being like an hour and a half, it's like 5 minutes. No. Unless it's like a really good one that it's like 27 or something.
I'm not dead.
but I'm not dead yet. I feel like going for a walk. Yeah, but
you're not fooling anyone.
but it's you know what? All right, think about this. Shaun of the Dead. Remember in Shaun of the Dead when he's like flipping from channel to channel to channel, and it's going from like news to just like standard broadcast.
Oh, it was
back
like
to
making an actual statement.
But yeah, from each one of the cuts of each channel, as it was like flipping back and forth, it actually told you what was going on.
It made a coherent statement throughout all that. Yeah,
yeah, like a proper chop up. Like, yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what you want to bring.
It'd be like the Cliff Notes.
Yeah,
yeah. Dude, Shogun Assassins would probably only be like 18 minutes long, maybe.
it's all the good cuts, man.
But that's a good movie, so there'd be a lot of them,
Right.
But then you get like other movies where it's like maybe it's only like 2 or 3 minutes because there's just not much in it. That's how it's like, how quotable is it? I put it around like 19 minutes. Be like, damn, that's pretty hot. I'm gonna have to see that. That's like a whole new rating system we should use.
Like 19 minutes. I put it in at 19 minutes.
I think I just invented something.
Not quite 20.
Yeah, fact checker, write this down. Thanks. All right, email us in.
Saving 20 for a special occasion. It was 19. It's definitely 19.
Oh.
I don't know why. But
well, because it depends on how quotable it is.
that's true.
And just because the movie's longer, you don't necessarily mean it's going to like,
No, it has nothing to do with
it could be a short movie and have a ton of them.
most really quotable movies are, like an hour and a half, right? I mean, that's pretty standard.
Well, I would say the average movie is an hour and a half, so that's a fair statement.
Or maybe an hour and a half plus credits. I don't know, whatever.
220, 221, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. That's right. Ding.
I know, right? That's this. I think we've talked about that like once or twice. Where so yeah, how many people are actually listening just for that? I get like at one point we might get like the cult following that's just like, well, we're just listening for the quotes. We just want and just like they just like writing it down and like sending it. I could see that as like its own freaking forum.
Yeah, you can just see people, two people looking at each other and go, half.
I do. Dude, and people who get that right now, the image of one hand, all 5 fingers, and the other one 4.5, and it's shaking back and forth like so. Yeah, dude. If you get us, please write in because we want to talk about that.
Right, meow.
Yeah, right, meow.
Right.
Oh, glittering Ann. It's great. I love it. It's like we never left. Yeah, see, I just went from one to the next. And that's what we do, though.
Who wants cream?
Who wants creme fraiche? Anyone? No one? Okay, no creme fraiche.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, sometimes we bring literal education, spiritual transcendence. Sometimes we just bring the funny. They're all necessary, man. This is balance in life.
We just bring Mel Brooks.
Yeah, it's Spaceballs the Flamethrower. The kids love that one. You shut your mouth when you talk to me.
Oh, time lapse.
Time lapse on what?
We both looked at each other. It was like 1, 2.
Was it like laugh bomb? Is that what just happened? That means it's working.
That was goofy.
Well, but it kind of goes back to like as serious as we get, we always, one of us somehow or another always, grounds the other person with levity. Like we bring it back down with a little bit of funny to kind of, get us out of our heads or in the heavens and get us back down on the ground. And,
I feel like we've been very silly so far. So what are we getting serious about? What's serious tonight?
Dude, we just talked about consciousness. Were you not here for this? Did you black out again?
What just
happened? I blacked out.
Did we win?
Oh. But see, you really just don't listen to me.
Streaking the quad.
They're streaking. Who's streaking the quad? They're coming behind me.
They're
Snoop-a-loop. Yeah. Well, but and yeah.
Hold
so
out there, Frank.
But I would really want to say it goes to that point of like balance because we were talking about that a little bit ago. Was balance? You have to have that balance. You have to know what things are to have that balance. And to me, knowing or thinking kind of puts you, heavenly or upward because it's in your head. But then having that grounding or being rooted into the physical ground to actually be a part of the earth, it gives you that balance, that yin and yang. If you don't have one without the other, then
part of the material world.
Well, yeah, because if all you had was heavenly or head thoughts, you wouldn't know it was head thoughts. It would just be. But having that additional component or that grounding, that alternate component,
or you just forget to eat.
What are you talking about? Like passing out and falling on the ground?
Well, I'm talking about getting in a yogic state of mind. I mean, those guys sometimes when you're seeking enlightenment or whatever, I mean, you're in meditation so long that you forget that that's not actual physical reality. That's another thing. It was, and that you forget to eat, and
Well, no, Kung Fu Panda, where it's like a true master lives off of dewdrops and ginkgo leaves. And the juice of the universe.
What is it? Universe juice.
Universe juice. Yeah, universe juice. Yeah, dude. And this is another thing that I really enjoy with, even though we do like the movie quotes and whatever else, and we attempt to be hilarious or add levity or just kind of keep us in that sense. We still find a way to draw something from it. Like we still have an appreciation, and even in the silliness, we still take something enjoyable away from it. We still learn. We're learned.
I feel like there's always been a balance with us, though. That we have the tendency to just do that, and that's where it almost feels like the tangent's always tangenting, because it's to try and put a mark on what the conversation is about. That's one of the things I struggle with. I'm trying to explain what the show's about to get new listeners.
I know, what do you talk about?
What do you talk about? It's like nothing. We really don't. It's like Seinfeld. We don't really talk about anything.
Well, because at one point we were actually going to name the show "A Couple of Nobodies Talking About Nothing," because it was like that was our thing. It's like
it just doesn't really flow all that well.
I'm telling you, is way more hilarious. But, a couple of nobody's talking about nothing. I mean, it does roll off, but dude, that's a hell of an email address. I don't know if there's enough vowels on a keyboard to do that.
I mean, not only that, I can't. It was probably a number of times on the actual conversation itself where we said, "I'm telling you," literally said, "I'm telling you." So it's just it's like 2, 3, 4-fold, however many.
It's our own running joke.
It's got layers. There's layers to it. There's levels, and
the only time we have layers is when it's wintertime, and it's super cold.
Not those kind of layers, man.
Oh, you talking about an onion?
It's like parfait. Everybody likes parfait.
Oh,
but you were gonna say onion.
What, you like the blossom, like a bloomin', or what? I don't know what they call it, where it's all breaded and opened.
Right, but that was
with horseradish sauce.
Ogres are like onions.
I like deep fried vegetables. Tempura is delicious. So is purple.
Yeah.
Purple is delicious.
Purple is delicious.
Yeah, see, we just quoted ourselves for the third time. Well, somebody's got to do it.
It's a good quote, because it is. Anybody who's tasted purple knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yo, purple drink is
dead serious. Well, I've never tasted purple, but I can imagine.
I mean, I've had purple drink.
Because it just looks so delicious.
And purple soda.
This makes no sense, but...
see, to you and I, it does. Now, and here's the hope, is one day maybe somebody else does as well. So much so that they've listened and taken notes or something. Stop playing. Dude, he's playing with my stuff over on the side. Dude, you're over here be like, can we talk serious? I've been trying to talk serious all night.
You already said this once tonight. So
I said you acting like you 5.
Well, nothing's ever changed, has it?
Well, sometimes you were very serious and matter of fact and succinct in your expression. But tonight, apparently, and I took the hit for it too.
Even my levity is succinct in its expression. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's everything right with that. And I even took the blame and said, hey, I started that in the green room. And then, now here you're bringing so much. He's over here snapping in Z formation and doing around the worlds. And oh, man. It's a good thing that they don't have to put up with us much longer because you're getting out of control again.
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like you're about to go on your own tangent where you
word
just
on the
like
street is we need to have video content.
word on the street.
That's word on the street.
Actually, I would think that's word in the internet, and you can't trust the internet. We all know this.
That is the street. It's like Tron. Remember?
That's the street. No, that's Sesame Street.
It's like Tron.
Tron doesn't have streets. They have like gaming areas.
The avenue is just
You're an avenue.
where the bus travels.
Why is there now a bus?
There's always a.
Where did the bus come from?
Do you know anything about computing? The bus.
Oh, but that's a different bus. I'm thinking like the wheels on the bus go around and
Everybody
around.
rides the bus, man. Everybody rides the bus.
See, that's why I don't want a license. That's why I don't want to drive.
Ding.
Right? Dude, eventually it's going to get to the point where we have ding. It's like we're going to have to stop doing that and then
never
see
gonna
who
get
the
it.
true
No.
fans are. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Dude, there's another. Oh man, yeah, but
Woo, 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 woo. Yeah.
you know,
Did he just? No.
I'll be honest. I feel like it's been a while since we've had like a really just chill, good sit down where, you know, we did have some pretty serious discussions, but, you know, the majority of it was us just
I don't
kind
want
of
to talk
like,
about it.
now you don't want to share.
I don't want to talk about it.
Really. I think this is an inappropriate time to take that kind of tone with me.
You're going like Eddie Murphy.
Mr. Aquil, Mr. Foley is here to see you. Oh, yeah. The Bronson Pinchot. I love that dude.
It's a great series, man.
Yeah, he's was it cousin Balky Bartolomeu's?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before. That
We talked about the Bartolomeu's.
Bronson. He just doesn't look. I don't know.
He's hilarious.
He doesn't look like a Bronson necessarily.
Do you know what he looks like to me?
What?
A physical, actual, live representation of Pinocchio. I'm serious. Put him in like, you know, the overalls with the little shirt and the hat.
It could work.
Yeah, dude, I could see him on Broadway, Pinocchio, and the crap out of that. Like he would just sell it.
That's not even insulting. That's
an actual compliment.
Giving him props.
Oh, mad. Dude, he's dope.
Dude, you look like Pinocchio. No, in a good way.
Well, I mean, dude, he could sell it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he could.
Like it's just a natural way. I could, you know, off of seeing the Balky Bartolomeu's, he's on it. He's all over that. Yeah, there you go. Snapped it up with you.
He's not the only one. I can imagine. I can imagine a lot of guys being able to
Do you do that often? Imagine a lot of guys.
be able to pull off the Pinocchio.
Dude, you are tangenting the crap out of this whole episode. It's like, dude, is this like your birthday or something? Am I unaware of this? Is there a full moon or something? Like, is there some?
No, I think it's waning right now. Actually,
I don't even know what that means.
When it's waxing, it's getting bigger.
Why did you do the?
When it's waning, it's doing the opposite. It's diminishing. It's getting smaller. So I believe it's waning.
Maybe
right
it's
now.
cold out.
Was it Seinfeld?
Well, this is a show about nothing.
I was in the pool. It's cold.
Yeah, no, but yeah, for real though. I think we kind of started with me saying that like I appreciate you, and I'm glad that we do this show and stuff, and it kind of seems that we're coming back to like I'm appreciating the fact of having the levity and
Like all night long.
well,
All night long.
oh no. But we need that balance because, you know, I think we were talking about this in the green room earlier, weren't we? Where we were having that balance with ourselves, where we were so very much like scheduled and matter of fact because we were trying to pump out our first content, like, you know, way back in the beginning when we started, that it got to a point where it was becoming work.
Well, you said you were just
I did say
reference the fact that you don't have to be like that.
Yeah, you said I did say,
You did.
but I referenced the fact of
You referenced the fact that you wanted to pump the brakes for a little bit because you felt like that it was getting too machine-like, maybe, that there was, you know, well, we just got to do another, you know, got to do another recording. But
yeah, we took all the fun away. Like it was, you know.
But it's definitely a balance because sometimes too much fun.
What's the Chinese expression? Too much of one thing is not a good thing.
Sure, I'll go with that.
Yeah, that's you got to have with moderation. You know, anything in moderation is good for you in a sense.
Yeah, even a moderate amount of toxin can actually be healthy for you.
Is that so? Is like a moderate amount of me? Is that what you're saying? Are you trying to break up with me again?
Well, probably more the beer in reference to the beer.
Are you saying you're going to blame it on the beer that you feel this way about me?
How do I feel about you? Do I?
You love me. Yes, yes, have some.
I'm sorry. I must have blacked out. What happened?
Yeah, I just blacked out again. What happened?
What did you say?
What's high score to mean? Is that bad?
Where am I doing?
Did I break it?
What's calculus?
What's calculus? What's calculus?
Hey, Teach, aren't you proud of me? I'm the first one here. What's calculus?
Dude, yeah. That was Michael Diamond Phillips, wasn't it?
Lou Diamond Phillips,
Michael.
yes.
No, his cousin Michael. I forgot.
I'm the one that's bad with names, but yeah, that's Lou Diamond Phillips and what was the name of that?
Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver, yes.
Yeah, they're maestro, their teacher. Yeah, it was about inner city kids like learning calculus and stuff, like doing college courses basically and getting credits and things. And like
it was about a teacher that really cared and put his all into making sure they learned. And he showed up to the first class after everybody had left the room. So it was actually completely over. And he was like, "Hey, Teach, I'm the first one here. Aren't you proud of me?"
It was like Fast Times at Ridgemount. It was Spicoli or whatever. He was the Latino Spicoli.
But yeah, it was a good movie. I remember that one.
It was a great movie.
Yeah. So I think we're rolling up on near the end of another episode. Yeah.
What do you mean? No, we are. Where have you been? You seriously backed out? Didn't you? Just like you're not. Oh wow,
dude, I'm not. What?
Do I have to? We're gonna have.
Right, can I read this for you? It says 9.6%.
He's blaming the alcohol. Well, so we keep joking, but we are very, very serious about this. We do want to hear from you. We do want to continue the conversation. I guess maybe you just want to continue being a smart ass over here. I don't know.
9.6.
1.21 gigawatts.
It's got a 9 and a 6 in it. That's got to make it good.
But yeah, no. If you can, please, go ahead and reach out to us. Let's continue the conversation on the side. Give us some, spots to do some things or hints of more content. Just keep the conversation going. I'm telling you at directionsofmusic.org. IMTELLINYOU at directionsofmusic.org. Yeah, he's being like a smarty over here with like doing his fingers, and so I was trying to mess with him. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait in the green room for a little bit and calm yourself down.
I'm in rare form, and he's actually, yeah. Do you like me in rare form, or should I just go back to?
Do you like me? I'm sorry. No, I tried to keep that clean. I did.
We need to keep it light, but I'm sure next time it won't. It's never the same. It's always different. So.
Well, yeah. You never walk in the same creek twice, or the same river twice.
Totally true.
All right. We're getting all serious, and it's like, dude, it's time to wrap it up. We're getting like philosophical.
We're all just patterns, man.
Yeah, well, as always, Philly D,
Mr. Gemini here.
Yeah, and it's this is I'm telling you. Thanks for stopping in. As always, fam, be good to yourself. Be good to everyone else.
Be real. Love each other. One love.
Yeah. See you next time.
Peace.
Peace.